Dr. Michael Harris adjusted his holographic display, his heart pounding with anticipation. The annual Intergalactic Medical Conference was a dazzling spectacle of technology and expertise from across the universe. The air buzzed with the hum of alien conversations, the room filled with a rainbow of beings from distant worlds, each exuding auras of curiosity and skepticism. Today was the day human medicine would either shine or shatter. Dr. Harris, a renowned cardiac surgeon, stood at the forefront of his team. His calm exterior belied the turmoil within. Years of dedication had led to this moment, where humanity's medical advancements would be scrutinized by the finest minds in the galaxy. Among them was Dr. Exalor, a towering figure from the planet Arindor, whose piercing eyes radiated doubt. "Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues," Dr. Harris began, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. "Today, we will demonstrate a heart transplant using cutting-edge techniques involving 3D printed organs and regenerative medicine." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, a mixture of intrigue and disbelief. Dr. Exalor's lip curled in a faint sneer. "I hope your presentation is more than mere theatrics, Dr. Harris," he remarked, his tone dripping with condescension. Dr. Harris met his gaze steadily. "You'll find it quite enlightening, Dr. Exalor. We've made significant advancements." The surgical field was projected in 3 dimensions for all to see. The human team moved with precision, each motion rehearsed and perfected. The 3D printed heart, crafted meticulously from the patient's cells, was a marvel of biocompatible engineering. As Dr. Harris made the first incision, the room fell silent. Minutes stretched into tense hours. The Galactic doctors watched as human skill and advanced technology merged seamlessly. The interplay of robotics and human expertise was mesmerizing. Dr. Exalor's skepticism began to waver as he observed the intricate procedures with growing respect. "Hand me the biocompatible scalpel," Dr. Harris instructed calmly. "We need to ensure the precision of the cut." Whispers floated through the air as the Galactic doctors leaned in, their curiosity piqued. Dr. Exalor whispered to a colleague, his eyes fixed on the display. "Their methods are more refined than I expected." As the surgery progressed, a sudden complication arose. The patient's heart rate plummeted, the monitor's urgent beeping filling the room with dread. Dr. Harris's team sprang into action, their movements swift and coordinated. The Galactic audience held their breath, the tension palpable. "Prepare the regenerative protocol," Dr. Harris commanded, his voice unwavering. "We need to accelerate the healing process now." The team worked tirelessly, employing advanced regenerative techniques to stabilize the patient. Dr. Exalor's eyes widened as he watched the procedure unfold, the doubt in his mind giving way to admiration. "Remarkable," he muttered. "Their technology is not just advanced, it's revolutionary." As the patient's heart rate stabilized, signs of recovery began to appear. Relief washed over Dr. Harris, but it was short-lived. Just as the room started to relax, an unexpected alert from the monitor indicated another potential issue. The audience gasped, and the tension skyrocketed once more. Dr. Harris took a deep breath, his mind racing with possibilities. The fate of the patient and the reputation of human medicine hung in the balance. The sudden alert pierced the tense silence, a harbinger of unexpected peril. Dr. Michael Harris's heart raced as he scanned the monitors, his mind working at lightning speed. The patient's blood pressure was dropping, and time was slipping away. "Activate the emergency stabilization protocol," Dr. Harris instructed, his voice a calm command amidst the chaos. The surgical team responded with practiced efficiency, their movements a synchronized dance of urgency. "Hang in there," Dr. Harris murmured to the patient, though his words were lost in the flurry of activity. The advanced robotics and regenerative medicine techniques that had impressed the Galactic doctors earlier were now being tested to their limits. Dr. Exalor, watching from the sidelines, leaned forward. The Arindorian doctor's eyes, once cold with doubt, now reflected a grudging respect. "What's the issue, Harris?" he asked, his tone devoid of the earlier condescension. "Unexpected drop in blood pressure," Dr. Harris replied tersely. "We're implementing regenerative support to stabilize." The surgical theater was a blend of high-tech equipment and human expertise, the air thick with a mixture of antiseptic and tension. Dr. Harris's hands moved with precision, guiding the robotic arms to repair the delicate tissues around the 3D printed heart. Each second felt like an eternity, the beeping monitors a relentless reminder of the stakes. "Pressure's stabilizing, but we're not out of the woods yet," Dr. Harris announced. "Prepare the biocompatible infusion." Dr. Exalor observed closely, his analytical mind noting the seamless integration of human and machine. "I've never seen such harmony between organic and synthetic," he admitted, a note of awe in his voice. "It's a necessity for survival," Dr. Harris said, glancing at Zeller. "We've had to innovate beyond our limits." As the team administered the biocompatible infusion, the patient's vital signs began to stabilize. The tension in the room eased slightly, replaced by a cautious optimism. Dr. Harris allowed himself a brief moment of relief, but he knew the procedure was far from over. "Keep monitoring the regeneration progress," he ordered. "We need to ensure there are no further complications." Dr. Exaler approached the operating table, his curiosity piqued. "Your regenerative techniques, are they based on cellular reprogramming?" Dr. Harris nodded. "Yes, we reprogram the patient's cells to accelerate healing and minimize rejection. It's cutting edge, but it's saved countless lives." The Irandorian doctor's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "Perhaps there is more to human medicine than I gave credit for." Before Dr. Harris could respond, another alarm blared. The patient's heart rhythm became erratic, the monitors flashing ominously. The room tensed once more, the brief respite shattered. "Prepare for defibrillation," Dr. Harris commanded, his voice sharp. "Charge to 200 joules." The team moved swiftly, placing the paddles on the patient's chest. The defibrillator charged, emitting a high-pitched whine that seemed to echo the urgency of the moment. "Clear!" Dr. Harris shouted, and the patient's body jolted as the electrical current surged through it. All eyes fixed on the monitors, waiting for a sign of stabilization. The heart monitor beeped steadily, and a collective sigh of relief filled the room. The patient's rhythm normalized, the crisis averted for now. Dr. Harris wiped the sweat from his brow, his mind already anticipating the next challenge. "Good work, everyone," he said, his voice a mixture of exhaustion and pride. "But we're not finished. We need to ensure complete integration of the graft." As the team prepared for the final stages of the procedure, Dr. Exaler stepped closer, his respect for Dr. Harris and his team now evident. "You've earned my respect, Dr. Harris. Let's see this through together." The heart monitor's steady beep was a fragile reassurance, a tenuous hold on hope. Dr. Michael Harris knew they had little room for error. The patient's condition was stable, but the complex process of integrating the 3D printed heart was still fraught with potential complications. "Begin the cellular integration sequence," Dr. Harris directed, his voice steady but tinged with urgency. The surgical team responded with precision, initiating the advanced protocols designed to ensure the new heart would function seamlessly within the patient's body. Dr. Exaler watched intently, his skepticism fully replaced by a burgeoning admiration. "Your regenerative techniques have truly revolutionized cardiac surgery," he remarked, not taking his eyes off the procedure. "We've had to push the boundaries of what's possible," Dr. Harris replied, focusing on the delicate task at hand. Survival demanded it. As the integration sequence progressed, Dr. Harris's mind flashed back to the years of relentless research and countless failed attempts that had led to this moment. The stakes had never been higher, not just for the patient on the table, but for the reputation of human medical innovation across the galaxy. Suddenly, the patient's oxygen levels began to drop. The team's swift movements contrasted sharply with the rising panic in the room. Dr. Harris felt a knot tighten in his chest. They were so close, failure now was unthinkable. "Administer the nano-infusion," he instructed, his voice betraying none of the tension he felt. The tiny robots, designed to facilitate cellular integration and repair, flowed into the patient's bloodstream, a cutting-edge technology born of necessity and desperation. Dr. Exaler's eyes widened as he observed the procedure. "Nanotechnology at this scale is unheard of. You've truly achieved something remarkable." Dr. Harris nodded, not daring to hope just yet. "It's our last best shot." The nano-infusion worked its way through the patient's body, targeting areas where integration was most critical. The heart monitor beeped with agonizing slowness, each sound a reminder of how precarious their position was. "Vitals are stabilizing," a nurse reported, her voice a beacon of hope. The tension in the room ebbed slightly, but Dr. Harris knew they couldn't afford to relax. "Prepare for neural synchronization," he ordered. "We need to ensure the heart is fully responsive to the body's signals." As the team set up for the final phase of the procedure, Dr. Exaler moved closer to Dr. Harris. "I underestimated human determination. Your advancements are nothing short of extraordinary." "We've always had to fight for our place," Dr. Harris replied, his eyes locked on the patient. "This is just one more battle." The neural synchronization began, the patient's body responding to the stimuli with encouraging signs of acceptance. Dr. Harris felt a glimmer of relief, but kept his focus razor-sharp. Without warning, the patient's body convulsed. The heart monitor spiked erratically, sending a jolt of fear through the room. Dr. Harris's heart pounded in his chest as he barked orders. "Increase the stabilization field. We can't lose him now." The team scrambled to comply, the room a flurry of activity. Dr. Exaler, despite his earlier detachment, seconds stretched into agonizing minutes. The heart monitor's erratic beeping gradually settled into a steadier rhythm. The convulsions ceased, leaving a tense silence in their wake. Dr. Harris exhaled a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. "We've done it," he whispered, the weight of the moment crashing down on him. Dr. Exaler nodded, his expression one of profound respect. "You've done more than save a life today. You've changed the course of medical history." As relief washed over the team, an unexpected message flashed on Dr. Harris's communicator. He glanced at it, his eyes widening. The Council of Galactic Medicine had requested an immediate debriefing. The outcome of this surgery had far-reaching implications, and the galaxy was watching. Dr. Michael Harris barely had time to process the message from the Council of Galactic Medicine before the surgical suite doors opened, revealing a delegation of high-ranking officials. Their expressions were a mix of curiosity and skepticism, mirroring the emotions that had filled the room earlier. "Dr. Harris, we need to debrief immediately," announced Counselor Serena, her tone brisk but respectful. She was known for her rigorous standards and unwavering commitment to medical excellence across the galaxy. Dr. Harris nodded, wiping the sweat from his brow. "Of course, Counselor. We've just stabilized the patient, but I'm ready to discuss our methods and results." As they moved to a more private setting within the medical facility, Dr. Exaler joined them, his presence lending additional credibility to the human team's achievements. The room was equipped with holographic displays, perfect for detailed medical presentations. "Begin with an overview of the procedure," Counselor Serena instructed, her eyes sharp with interest. Dr. Harris activated the holographic display, showing the intricate details of the 3D printed heart and the regenerative protocols used. "We utilized a heart printed from the patient's own cells to ensure compatibility and reduce rejection risk. Our regenerative techniques employed nanoinfusion and cellular reprogramming to accelerate healing and integration." The council members leaned in, their expressions gradually shifting from skepticism to genuine interest. Dr. Exaler added his observations, highlighting the seamless integration of technology and human expertise. "Your methods are groundbreaking," Dr. Harris Serena acknowledged. "However, there are concerns about the scalability and long-term viability of these techniques. How do you plan to address these?" Dr. Harris anticipated the question. "We've conducted extensive trials and are continually refining our processes. Collaboration with galactic experts will be crucial in advancing these methods and making them more accessible." The discussion grew intense, with council members probing every aspect of the procedure. Dr. Harris answered confidently, his passion for innovation and patient care shining through. Dr. Exaler's support was invaluable, his respect for human ingenuity evident in his contributions. Just as the conversation seemed to reach a consensus, an urgent alert interrupted them. The monitors in the room flashed with a warning. The patient's condition was deteriorating rapidly. Dr. Harris's heart sank. They had come so far, failure now would be catastrophic. "Excuse me, counselors," Dr. Harris said, already moving towards the door. "I need to attend to the patient immediately." Counselor Serena nodded. We will accompany you. This could be a critical learning moment for all of us. Back in the surgical suite, the atmosphere was tense. The patient's vitals were plummeting, the once stabilized heart now showing signs of acute rejection. Dr. Harris's mind raced, searching for a solution. Prepare the emergency override for the nano-infusion, he ordered. We need to reset the regenerative cycle and stabilize the immune response. The team moved with practiced efficiency, the urgency of the situation pushing their skills to the limit. Dr. Exelor and the council members observed closely, their earlier skepticism replaced by a palpable tension. Why is this happening? Serena asked, her voice a mix of concern and curiosity. It's a rare immune response, Dr. Harris explained, his focus unbroken. We anticipated it as a possibility, but it's happening sooner than expected. We need to act fast. As the override protocol initiated, the patient's vitals slowly began to stabilize. The room breathed a collective sigh of relief, but Dr. Harris knew they weren't out of danger yet. We need to monitor him closely, he said, turning to the council. This is the critical phase where every second counts.